Welcome back to the Brand Personalization Video Marketing course. This is day 23, and I can guarantee this is probably going to be the most fun lesson that we've done so far. When we start out on YouTube, everyone has a blank profile. Well, anyone can customize their channel, with just, adding a few pictures or playing with the color scheme, things like that. But today we're going to get in a little bit deeper. What if you go the extra step and you have some custom graphics done? And what if you completely customize it around your brand as a whole? When customers or clients see that extra mile, then they're going to get a better idea of who you are and what you're going to be doing for them. Because, regardless, what we do for ourselves, and even though we're usually, working for other people when we do this, it's human nature. People are going to look at what we do for ourselves as a direct representation of what we can do for them. So because of that, today we are going to pimp our profile. But first, let's go ahead and go into a quick course update so that way we can see where we're at. Okay, you can tell that it looks a lot nicer, to have a little logo on there instead of my sleepy face in the preview. So we haven't moved up too much, but we are making progress. Channel views 3,023. Total upload views 35,689. So we have less than 15,000 to go in a week and a half to just completely obliterate the 50K in 30-day challenge. Okay, 1,298 subscribers. I was hoping so bad to break the 1,300. I kept checking. It would go up like 1 or 2 each hour. I gave up on it. And we have 2,730 friends. And a few more channel comments, which is always welcome. So now we're going to go straight into the business. If you haven't been to my personal profile yet, this is it. And as you can tell, it is extremely ugly. So, whenever you first set up your profile, it's going to be blank like this. I mean, obviously I've had this account since 2006, so it's definitely not new. But I knew that I was going to be dressing it up, during the course, so I went ahead and stripped everything away from it, so that way you could see me, build everything up from scratch. So as it is right now, very plain, very ugly. And if a customer or a client would come to this page, then it would probably turn them away. So, when we get into, doing themes and colors, as I mentioned, it's very easy, to just upload an image and then, play around with the links and the color scheme, things like that. So that way, it's going to match our brand to an extent. But when we want to, show that, we're willing to do whatever it takes to impress, then we really need a channel that's going to represent who we are as a person or as a brand or as a company. In my case, I'm doing these services for other people, but at the same time I want a direct reflection of myself. And before I really get into it, I want to give you a little background on brand personalization. Okay, if you notice throughout, the P stamp is purple with gold inlay, and then the background is always silverish gray. The reason is because back in the time of royalty, I mean, I know we still have royalty, but let's just, go back a little bit further. Okay, the color purple was the absolute most expensive color to produce. They would, either make purple from, eggplant or, whatever other sources. But because the sources were so rare, it was extremely expensive. And for kings to flaunt their wealth, they would, bring it on in layers. And it was common knowledge that, silver was for the poor. So they would have, multiple layers of purple, and then they would, have multiple layers, or, basically any orifice you could think of is going to have some gold on it. Well, where the silver comes in, basically, the logo is of royalty, and, the background is, more common. So basically what our color scheme literally translates to is, royal or superior service to the masses. And the reason I'm saying this is because it's always good to have a story, especially behind your brand, or something that you could relate to your clients with. And because of that, that's why with backgrounds or anything to project an image, I always put on the front burner, because I want to make sure to put my best foot forward, and I want people to see that I'm not going to slouch, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to take care of them. And now that you know the story behind it, now you're going to understand a little bit more of why I chose the background that I did. And you can tell that I've customized it tremendously. So all you do is just simply upload your picture, and you can have the graphics custom done. You can have firms like Brand Personalization, and there's several others that specialize in backdrops or layouts for YouTube or other networks. You can also do a search online for YouTube layouts or YouTube themes, and I don't want to say that they're great, and some of them graphics wise are really nice, but most of them are either made for girls or games. And I'm not saying that derogatory by any means, but as far as a professional brand, you're probably going to have to either have one custom created for you or have one customized for you. But just so you can see the one that I just uploaded, very nice and pretty. Nowhere close yet though. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is play with the transparency, so that way you can get a better idea of what we're working with. In this case, my wrapper is going to be 100% transparent. So you can already see the difference that made. Okay, now for the background, basically I want to match up where it leaves off, so that way it's continuous throughout. So what you do is you select your color code. So you can click on this little grid here, but it's not going to give you that many colors choices. But if you have Photoshop or another photo editing program, it's very easy to get the codes that way and then just paste them in. And that's how I did mine. And that way you can get it exact, or close enough that to the eye you can't tell the difference. Whenever you're pasting in, just select in a different box. And now you'll see, well, apparently I have to put the pound sign in there. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, now when we scroll down, it's continuous all the way down. So already it's looking a lot better. And even if I would leave it just like this, it wouldn't be bad. It definitely looks better than any of the standalone channels. But we're not done. Okay, if you notice, there's a separator here right now, but as soon as we go transparent, then you're not going to be able to see any grid lines. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through these one by one, and then that way as I change the colors you can see what sections actually change. So basically that area just does the boxes around, the borders here, and then the little dot separators, and then the banner up here. Okay, now wrapper text, that would be this text here, and then finally change my link color. So basically that's the links here. So you're starting to see a little bit of how it's going to end up, but we'll keep going on. Before I start changing the colors for the rest of it, I'm going to go ahead and change the transparency for the your basic palette. Now as soon as I do this, you're going to see a huge change. See, with every change, basically I'm revealing stuff. See, it looks a whole lot different now. And just to show you, why I'm doing 90% instead of 100. Because a lot of times when you have themes like this, you're actually, supposed to do 100% on both. But if I did that, I wouldn't have any type of separator, between this box and then over. And I don't like when it's all just, open like that. Some people do. Personally, I don't. So just so you can see the difference. See now, I have a faint separation. And basically YouTube is creating the rest of the theme for me. I don't have to guess where everything is and then adjust my images or anything like that. Basically as long as the top part's done, then as long as I have the separator, the rest will automatically be done for me. Okay, now looks a little bit different. Not done yet. And one thing I'll go ahead and mention is, it only takes a few minutes to paste everything in, but it literally takes hours to match everything up. So if you are going to plan on doing this yourself, designate an evening. Especially when you're guessing, like when I put my name in the theme and things like that, basically I had to upload it probably 50-60 times just to nudge it each time, just because you don't know where it's going to go each time, because depending on what font you're using or your layout, things change. So basically it's a lot of rough guessing and hoping. But just so you can see the current change, now we have some purple in there. But that was the reason why, I mentioned, the story of BP, so that way you'd understand why, I had the silver and the gold and the purple. Because even though this is a personal profile, I still have a lot of BP stuff on here, and I want everything to, blend in nicely. No matter what I'm doing, I don't want it to clash. And this should complete our beautiful profile. Make sure to save changes. And now this is what people will see when they come to visit me. So you can see where I added extra names and graphics and things like that. But it just looks, rich and clean, which is exactly the kind of image that I want to project whenever I'm talking to anyone on a personal or a professional level. So basically, you see how easy it is to set up a custom profile. It's definitely not difficult, but it does take a little bit to get used to. So basically you just have to figure, do I have, what it takes to do this myself, or would it be best to outsource? Only you can make that decision. There's plenty of people that can do it for you. You might not even need to, go that route. If you do want to experiment with custom graphics for YouTube or any other network, there's always, free templates that you can play with, and some of them will be a perfect fit, some won't. But that's definitely the way to show people that you're willing to go the extra step or the extra mile, to do whatever you are trying to put out in your course or in your videos or whatever your marketing efforts are. So hopefully you enjoyed that. It absolutely warmed me out getting everything set up for this lesson. So if you didn't like it, don't tell me. Just leave comments. Tell me that you loved it. It's the best thing you ever saw in your life, and you can't wait to see more because you're getting ready to get some more of it. So till tomorrow, this is Dustin with Brand Personalization. Take care.